There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, so this is Rio. I don't know what ride we're on, but he's been doing very, very well. And I just figured I'd give you a little update on Rio. This is the same horse that I did the first ride in the snaffle, the rein to foot connection video a while back on. And this is just a typical training ride. He's getting ready to go home to be with his dressage trainer. So my job was to put a foundation on him. My job was to get him confident. My job was to get him moving forward, comfortable with the saddle, comfortable with his feet, confident with the bit, confident with the rider, the leg aids, all of that stuff. The foundational stuff is what he was here for. And then he's gonna go home and his owner's gonna have a dressage trainer kind of pick up where I left off. The dressage trainer is a very, very good rider, and she's been in here riding him several times, and I think it's not gonna be long before he heads off to his new program and heading out with his new trainer, which is totally fine, and it makes me happy that I can see that trainer come in here and we can do a smooth transition on his next stage of his life. So every horse that comes in here, we do groundwork, especially if we're starting horses, do a lot of groundwork with them. But as time goes on, I do less and less groundwork. And the reason being is groundwork in my program is to prepare a horse to be ridden, to teach the horse some things that he might need under saddle, like bending, yielding those hindquarters, backing up, gaining confidence in certain areas. Like I'll do a lot of groundwork on the obstacles, the steps, the ditch of death, stuff like that. Just kind of prepare him for doing the same things that I'll be doing under saddle. But once most of that stuff's shaped up, then my groundwork doesn't really consist of much. I might do a little floating figure eight with him a little bit, just merely to feel the cinches, kind of for me to kind of gauge where the horse is at on that day. But once they're pretty squared away, then we just jump on the horses and motor on. So just gonna walk him around a little bit, let him have a little bathroom break. And then just like I did before, I'll just check my stop, seat, didn't need the reins, kind of rocking my stirrups, pick my reins up just a little bit, kind of give me a backup. And I'll hold just until he gets a little bit straighter in that backup. Just a little bit straighter is what I'm looking for. And I'm not pulling on the reins, I'm holding on the reins. There you go. So I'm just kind of holding those reins and just letting him have a few moments to find his balance and find out where he's gonna place his feet. Go from this walk and then just go to a turn on the haunches, bring that outside rein on, outside leg on, right leg's off. One more step. There. Not too shabby. Try it going to the left. Just kind of a pre-flight checklist before I ask him to trot or canter or anything like that. Right leg. Reins are supporting my seat and my legs, but my legs and my seat are the first cue and first signal that I give to my horse. My reins are last. So right leg's on. I'm really wanting him to swing these shoulders over like that. As he's kind of backing up, so I'll ask him, if he starts backing up like that, I'll just ask him to come forward, walk forward, and then I'll just go right back to asking him for those shoulders. He's swinging those hips, kind of giving me the Coke bottle turn. Ask him forward. And these are just things that I'm checking out, things that I'm just kind of making sure we got some. There he goes. Just checking him out, making sure that I got my steer and make sure that I got some softness right from the get-go. And it's things like that where people say, well, what are you working on today with that horse? Well, I come out here, I feel him out, and well, them shoulders were kind of sticky, so well, we'll work on that until they free up a little bit. Traditionally, this right side's a little bit stickier for him, and by sticky, I mean he has a little bit harder time yielding when pressure's on this right side. which makes perfect sense. Why he was having a little bit of trouble over here with that turn on the haunches. At the walk, always make sure that I can free rein a horse. This horse is going to be going to a dressage home, so he's going to get a lot of free rein walking, but he's also going to be having a lot of contact and a lot of following feel. But I always make sure that I can walk on a loose rein, and that the horse doesn't, you know, when I put slack in the rein and I have them walk on a loose rein, it doesn't mean speed up. So I'm not reliant on my reins for speed control. And then I'll just kind of take a little bit of feel for his face here. And that's all I'm looking for. Is, you know, if I ask for his face, if I ask him for his nose, will he give it? And then when I give him loose rein, will he just kind of, well, okay, there we go. Nothing really changed. Because I use my reins primarily for flexions. And then I use my seat and my legs pretty much for everything else. So this looks really good. We're kind of walking out. He's kind of holding my hand. I'm holding his hand. We're holding hands together. That feels real good. And then if his head gets kind of behind the vertical and his pull starts to get kind of below my saddle horn, then I can always just push my hands forward and then add a little bit of seat energy and say, hey, let's get a little bit more power from the hind end, and maybe let's pick your front end up a little bit. And I might even kind of fluff them a little bit up here with my reins and pick my hands up and just kind of say, hey, let's pick that head up a little bit. Let's just keep that pull right about there. How about that? Maybe about like right, there you go. And then I can go back to holding his hands. All right. So we'll pick up the trot. And at this stage in this horse's training, you know, I'm looking on forward, I'm looking for balanced. And when he finds it, like I always like to say that there's, you know, young horses, and he's probably, I don't know, 20th ride or so, they're gonna have moments of greatness in the midst of chaos. So what I mean by that is you can have a really, really chaotic ride, but there's gonna be moments where they're just balanced and they're soft and they're through and they're really just using their body correctly, and they're really soft in your hands. And when they get those moments of greatness, that's when I just like, hey, that's awesome, dude. Let's just keep that up. And I just kind of encourage the forward, and I encourage the power in the engagement. But when we're trotting around, I'm constantly kind of feeling for ribs pushing into a leg, constantly feeling for, you know, is he really soft on my hands? If I'm tracking to the left here, you know, is his nose tracking to the left? Can I see the inside of his eyelid? I'm not gonna put, like if he speeds up, I'm not gonna pull back. So there's a bike rider right there. Not a big deal. I'll just take his hips away. Just sights that he hasn't seen before, sights that he hasn't been exposed to yet. Just kind of take those hips away. Tell him, hey, that's all right, buddy. All right, and then we just go right back at it. I am very big on forward, but like right there, if I asked him to go forward, he's like, hey, wait a minute. I got two bikers coming down the road. Well, I don't know about them bikers. So I'll just take his hips away, get some relaxation, and then we just simply head right on back to what we were doing. But I'm not gonna add any fuel to the fire by, you know, yelling at him or getting gruff with him or driving a spur through his belly or anything. Just simply take those hips away, a hind end disengagement. Have him start thinking back towards me, and then we move on. Scared the crap out of him, those bike riders did. Look at that. So we're trotting, and then one of the next things I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of let the life out of my body, maintain contact with those reins, and see if we can't come down to a walk without him throwing that head out, without him kind of doing anything other than just kind of holding my hand and coming down a gait. So take that feel again, focus up, energy up, there we go. Come down to a walk, nice, and then a trot. So I'll throw in some transitions just to make sure that we're all on the same page, that he's listening to my seat, I'm not relying on my reins. Very nice, excellent, excellent, excellent. Asking for the trot again. And then from the trot here, you know, I have a little bit of contact. I'm not pulling on him by any means. My fingers aren't even closed on these reins. But I'll kind of go from kind of a concentrated rein, kind of a connected feel, and I'll just kind of let him stretch his head down if he would like. I'll just kind of let him chew those reins out of my hands. Ask him to kind of put his head down there, wide, low hands. My hands are wide and low. Encouraging him to kind of seek that bit and seek that head down position. I'm not looking for him to drag his nose on the ground like a Western Pleasure peanut roll or nothing like that. I'm just kind of testing wherever that bit goes, wherever my hands go, can he go with them? Got a little speedy right there. So when I get speedy, I can just turn him. And if I'm riding a circle and all 4 feet are on one track, then I can turn him just to like 1 track in or 1 track out. Throwing in those little turns can really help slow a horse down and really just, it's kind of more of a, kind of like a mental redirect kind of than anything. And then once I kind of got him back together, emotionally and physically collected and connected to me, then I can go right back down to, well, can you stretch down a little bit? Can you handle a little bit of, there you go, a little bit of a loose rein. Nice. Nice. All right, there he goes. And I might have been off camera or at the wrong angle, but when he stretched down a little bit, and that's when I just like, hey, that's what we're looking for. Got to have confidence on these guys. You can't be riding them tight all the time. Got to have confidence to give him that rein. There he goes. That's very nice. It's his job to maintain gait. It's my job to tell him what gait, but it's his job to maintain it. That's looking good. Nice. Nice. And then I'll ask him the same time that I might close my fingers on these reins, I might add a little bit of energy in my seat and just ask him to kind of pick up a little bit. Give me your nose a little bit and just let me hold that hand. Nice. Very nice. Very good right there. Anytime I'm turning a horse, well, I guess not anytime, but anytime I'm training a horse and I'm turning a horse, I will always try to focus on a quality maneuver. So I want to reverse direction. There's any number of ways that I can reverse direction, but I'm turning left, which means I have to add pressure to the right side, open the left door, put pressure on the right side. I know he's already a little bit sticky about that. So I'll just add that into my repertoire. Ask him to rock his weight back, open up that left door, give me that front like that. Very smooth, very nice, but I had a little bit of trouble over here with that, so I just kind of threw it into my training ride and said, hey, let's work on that right side a little bit by giving me a quality maneuver. I'll take quality over quantity. Now we're tracking right. Same thing, you know, is he just holding my hand? Can I see the inside of his right eyelid? I don't need any more flexion than just seeing the inside of that right eyelid. That's all I need. Good. If he starts kind of blowing through my outside leg, which is my left leg, if his shoulder starts going to the left, then I can block that with my left leg, put a brick wall up on the left side, say, hey, that leg means something. Don't blow through it. Keep your body nice and straight on that circle. He'll probably blow through it right here. So I'll just add a little bit of left leg there. Just like that. Because like I said, I want my seat and my legs to be the primary cues for my horse to move, not my reins. My reins are there for support. That's looking good. That's feeling good. He's a little bit stickier to the right, a little bit more unconfident going to the right. And that's because of balance. Just training, balance. Nothing that's not gonna work itself out. Because I'm not gonna draw a whole bunch of attention to it. It'll work itself out. It seems like, the more effort we put into fixing a little problem, boy, that little problem can turn into a big problem pretty quick. So I like to just kind of ride, shape them up as I'm riding, and then a lot of things just melt away. So what I'm gonna do to set them up for this left lead D part is nose flexion left, my right leg's gonna be back, and I'm actually gonna take my left leg off and encourage him to kind of fill that void. So right here, he's a little bit tense. So I'll just kind of bend him down. Bend him down. I could have kept trotting him and I could have worked through it, and that would have been fine. But it just felt like, why don't we just kind of erase some of this tension? So what I'm doing here is my left leg is on him. I am asking him for his hips. I'm asking him to step up under himself, holding my left rein. And then what I'm going to do here in a second, once he's off of my leg, then I'll hold steady with my left hand, take my left leg off. So I'm going to quit using my left leg. Left leg off, hold this rein, and I'll hold this rein until he stops, however long it's going to take. He's thinking, oh, I feel something, I better back up. Oh, wait, whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. So I'll hold that rein until they stop. It doesn't matter how long it takes them to stop. I'll always hold that rein until they stop. Ask them for those shoulders. And then we trot off. So I come around in this light pull here. I'm going to slide my right leg back. I'm going to ask him to swing his hips in, a scooch. And then I'm going to open up my left leg and use this corner to help set me up for my left lead canter depart. Okay. I'll just ride this. I'll ride it. You know, we've been working at the trot for a while. Canter's still a little bit iffy. And you'll see me pick my hands up a lot. And that's just gonna say, hey, let's pick your withers up. Let's get your pole up. And then when he gets balanced, then I'll lower my hands down. Now he's kind of careening around. He's not really cantering. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna gradually put slack in my right rein, and I'm gradually gonna bend him down. Gradually bend him down with my left rein. And I'm gonna hold this left rein until he stops. Straighten my saddle, good boy. So there was a great example of a few things that I could have done. You know, picking my hands up, trying to tell him to kind of rebalance himself. But if that's not working, I'm not just gonna let him careen around like a banshee. I'll spiral him in, ask him to disengage his hips, spiral in until he stops, and then we'll go right back on. All right. So I'll come back around to this corner, make sure he's with me, ask him for his left lead canter. Go with him, bend him. So right here, I'll just bend him, bend him, bend him, bend him to a stop. Got a little cantankerous right there, not a big deal. And then I head back out. Pick up the trot. And this is, well, I don't know how many times we've been working on canter, but you know, the first few canter times, we're just looking at cantering. We're just looking at forward. So now we're kind of asking him to do a few more things, and that might kind of bother him. Okay, pick up that left rein, there. And picking up that left rein just puts a kind of a bind in his body. There he's kind of pushing on me, kind of careening around. So now I'll just bend him down. One of the first things I'll do is I'll pick up that inside rein and put a bind in his body, and if he doesn't work out of it, then I'll keep holding that inside rein, and then I'll turn that pick up inside rein into a little spiral in, come down to a stop, and then we go about our merry little way. So we'll pick up the trot here. And this is just riding what you got for the day. That's all this is. He's got a new pasture mate. Good. He's got a new pasture mate that's down there, you know. He's had a busy weekend himself. Pick up, balance yourself. Good. Pick up, balance yourself. Good. the same thing on the right side for the right lead. My left leg's gonna go back. I'm gonna open up that right leg, open up that right door, and ask him for the right lead. And I'll go, hey, follow my hand, follow my hand. There you go. And then I'll ride the square turns and the straight lines. And every time I do that, I'm just gonna ask him to rock his weight back, and then use a lot of my outside rein and my outside leg to say move over. So in this direction, it's gonna be my left rein and my left leg are gonna be my outside turning reins, or my bridle rein. So I'll ask him for the trot here. Make sure that I didn't lose any confidence or relaxation cantering to the left. So I'll trot him to the right a little bit. That's feeling pretty good right there. All right. Kind of falling in there. So I'll just kind of help him, pick him up and put him back to the outside. Forward. Good. So anytime those shoulders fall to the inside, there's a fence there, buddy. Every time those shoulders fall to the inside, my inside leg will ask him to bring those shoulders to the outside. Left rein. I'm gonna canter this one more time before I stop, because I really want him to shape up this turn headed down towards the C, letter C here. That was a little better. See if I can't do it again, and ask him to maintain canter while he turns. That was a little bit better. Keep the canter going towards the C so that I can get my turn while he maintained gait. So that was good. And the few times that he broke gait, he was thinking rock back, but he wasn't thinking rock back and continue that forward motion, continue that momentum. So good little ride on this guy. Not too bad. Nothing out of green horse. Just a handful of rides. Wouldn't do. Pretty good solid mind about him, which I really like. So that's kind of an update on this guy, and I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching.